Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law. Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You're going to help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
All rise. Both parties raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you, Will. You may be seated. In the matter of Cyrus Khan versus Mary Jung,
Yes.
you're suing for $4,400. She's an ex-lover. You said that she's responsible for you having a back injury and losing income as a result of that. And of course, you're saying, no way.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. All right, let me hear from you, Mr. Khan.
Well, I am a licensed plumber from Portland, Oregon. And, I haven't really had a whole bunch of luck, with dating. I'm kind of a goofy, awkward guy, It's tough out there, So I've tried dating apps, the whole bar scene just doesn't really work for me, So I basically joined a online forum for board game enthusiasts because I've always been into board games. I know it sounds kind of nerdy, but it's something I'm into, And that's how I came across Mary. And honestly, we hit it off. We're in the same chat rooms and would always text each other and message each other. And after a couple days, things kind of got a little bit more steamy.
Just 2 days?
I mean, people move quick. You know what I mean? Hey,
Maybe that's why you haven't had much luck. You move too fast.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. So yeah, things are getting a little more steamy. So I eventually asked for a phone number and we're texting, talking, and we kind of set up a little date. But while we're texting and talking, she's sharing some of her kinks. I'm into certain things too, but hey, everyone to each his own, right? She tells me one thing that I thought was a little baffling, and she says that she has a clown fetish. So I'm kind of flabbergasted. I don't really know how to react, but I'm like, okay, keep it on the back burner, right? So we go on a couple dates, and this lasts for, honestly about 2 months where we're going back and forth. And so I decided to plan a date, something a little different, right? So I'm like, let me add a little bit more romance to it, right? So I have her over, and this time I cook dinner, cook her favorite meal. I got candles lit, music playing, everything. The whole scene is set, So I say, hey, go upstairs, take a nice bath, right? Take your time, give me 30 minutes. I'll get ready, and we'll rejoice in the bedroom, right? She goes to take a bath, right? And I put on clown makeup, right? So, I go upstairs, and she's still kind of drying herself off, putting lotion, on, and she's, her back's towards me, but she's facing the mirror, right? So I'm kind of trying to be a little sneaky, kind of sexy, and maybe just sneak up on her a little bit, right? As soon as I approach her and I get close, I think she sees my reflection. She just sees a clown.
She saw the clown's reflection.
Exactly. But she should have known it was me, right? So as soon as she saw me, she turned around, and it was just hysteria. I mean, she just lost it.
What did she do?
She just completely screamed. I mean, she just lost control.
Screamed and pushed you too?
She didn't touch me, She didn't push me, but she just lost it. And in that process, there was a little puddle of water still, from her bath. I slipped, landed right on my back, completely just took a spill, and I couldn't move.
So you think she should pay you for the medical bills?
Absolutely.
And you weren't able to work for how long?
About a month. And I have evidence here that I can present to you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why do you think she owes you?
Honestly, because I'm just being a gentleman. I was being a good man by just trying to kind of spice things up, make her happy.
But what did she do?
She overreacted. She shouldn't have reacted that way.
Okay.
Come on, that's not fair. I wouldn't have reacted that way in that situation.
You don't know how you would have reacted. You don't know. You don't know until you get in the situation how you're going to respond to it. It's easy to say what you wouldn't do, but you don't really know. Let me hear your side.
Thank you. So if anybody was naked just getting out of the tub and they're all sudsy and vulnerable, and they look up into a foggy mirror and see what looks like a serial killer behind them, I'm not the only one who would be screaming. So what actually happened from the beginning was...
Why you look like a serial killer?
He had a full face of makeup on. It looked nothing like him. He had this like weird smile on his face. I have no idea. It was
Apparently
bizarre.
that turns her on.
It was bizarre.
Obviously it didn't.
Obviously it didn't.
You know?
So
when you told him you had a clown fetish, did you explain to him what the fetish was?
no, because we did text about it back and forth briefly, but he quickly shut it down because all he ever wants to do is missionary. I mean, that's it.
You online trying to catch a woman and all you doing is missionary?
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
Him on his back, screaming on the floor was the first time he had a girl on top of him. That's all I could say. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, he invites me over that night.
It's too much information.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
And later,
You just were a contributor.
Yes,
Had nothing to say about what it looked like or did not look like, and didn't have any office in the church.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Cyrus Khan, who is suing Mary Jung for personal injury.
Him on his back, screaming on the floor was the first time he had a girl on top of him. That's all I could say. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, he invites me over that night.
Too much information.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. But what happened that
Bring me
night
there.
was he invited me over, and it was surprising because up until then, we had established that it was purely us hooking up, and that's it. No
Hooking up,
dates.
and where would you hook up?
At his house, at my house,
Purely hooking up, no
purely
date.
hooking up, no dates.
So
I made
that's
that
not
very
called a
clear.
date? Hooking up just for sex. So
Yes.
it's not called a date.
I mean, I guess what he did, dressing up in full, clown face, I guess that's what he calls a date, but that's not what I established as a date.
No, but I'm trying to understand what your rules were. You said the rules were it was purely hooking up.
Yes.
So you go to each other's house, you meet just for sex.
Yes.
You have sex and get the hell up out of there.
Yes.
Okay.
But on the night in question, I go over, and surprisingly, it was really nice. He had put on candles everywhere. He had cooked my favorite
What's
chicken
that?
parm. Chicken parm. It was drier than the sex, but he
Ooh.
made the chicken
Took
parm.
4 hours to make.
But
Took
it's
4 hours to
nice.
make.
It's nice though that he. Oh yeah, it took 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So it was really nice of him, but yeah, up until then, it had just been hooking up. But that night, it was almost like a date. He had done all this work, and we had a nice dinner. And afterwards, he told me to go up and to have a nice bath. And he had bought my favorite bubble bath brand. And it was like really romantic, candles everywhere, all dark, and roses in the tub. So he says he'll join me. And I go in first. And, I'm there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And he's still not coming, and so I check the clock, and it's been 40 minutes. He still hasn't come.
And he's never joined you.
No, he never joined
So now the
me.
water's cold.
Yeah, exactly. So I just assumed, all right, I guess he's just gonna flake on this. So I get out, I towel myself off, but the towel is on the other side of the tub, so next to the door. So I have to walk all the way there, grab my towel. All the floor is getting wet. So I grab my towel, I go to the mirror, I'm putting on lotion, I'm drying off.
And you're looking at yourself in the mirror while you're doing that.
Yes, but I bend over, and when I bend back up, I see his face in the mirror, and I start screaming because it's terrifying. So I turn and I scream, and then he screams, and he falls on the floor. And the whole time he's blaming it on me. He says, what's wrong with you? Why are you screaming? I'm hurting because of you. Just, it's crazy. And so I told him, no, you did not prep me for this at all. This is absolutely ridiculous. No. And I said that he crossed a boundary. I grabbed my things, I put on my clothes, and then I
left
left.
the man there?
Of course I
On
did.
his back, knowing that his back is hurting?
His mouth worked.
Oh, wow. You're a cold piece of work. Really?
I mean, and his phone was right there because when he slipped, it fell out of his pocket. I knew he was fine. So I left. You know, it's very out there. It's something that you have to talk about. You need to establish boundaries. You need to make sure everyone feels safe and, you know, comfortable. He did not do that. He just lurked behind me like some...
Your Honor, she knew it was me, though, and that's the whole...
You know what? Even if she knew it was you, she didn't hit you. She didn't knock you down. She didn't push you. Your own words. She didn't push you. She didn't hit you. She didn't knock you down. All she did was yelled. You went into the bathroom knowing that the woman was in the bathtub, and you saw that she had gotten out of the bathtub. So, and it's your house. You know, you get out of the bathtub wet on the floor, that there is water. So she didn't do anything.
But she created, Your Honor, she created a hazardous environment with the water.
Oh my God!
And her reaction, she didn't.
Are you serious? She created a hazardous environment.
She didn't do anything physical.
She was in the bathtub having a bath like you told her. So how did she create a hazardous environment?
Maybe at least dry yourself off fully.
How did she know you were coming up there then?
Look, it was a surprise. That's the whole element.
Okay, so you got
tonight,
surprised,
you know?
And you fell on your butt. And you hurt your back.
But it doesn't mean that she didn't cause it, though.
Yes,
I know
it
she
does.
didn't physically do it.
Yes,
but
it does.
With
It
her
means that
voice
she didn't
and
cause it.
The hysteria.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
She can't scream. So both of you got something you didn't expect.
Okay.
But
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Yes,
I'm satisfied with this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so now the next time you meet a woman, you're going to make sure you got all the details and what you need to do and have everything safe and sound. You went in that bathroom and she's out of the tub. First thing, you should have looked to see if there was water on the floor. And you know when you step out of a tub, you're going to have some water on the floor from your feet.
It's like 10 o'clock
She didn't have a rug,
you know?
obviously. Sir, I'm sorry. You
Your
brought
Honor.
this on yourself. She didn't commit any crime. She didn't commit any negligence. She owed you no duty of that care. She didn't do any. You said she didn't touch me. Had she pushed you, I may would have said something. But you said it. She didn't touch me.
Yes, but Your Honor, she still
But,
caused the situation
Your Honor,
with her
nothing.
voice.
Judgment for the defendant. That's my ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Turns out you are a clown, but not the kind I'm into.
No, I must have been a clown if I ever took you seriously.
Coming up,
Did you show him a picture like this?
No, because I left it up to him to
You
use
what?
his
What?
own.
Say that again?
I left it up to him since I trust him and since he
quote,
has done this before.
Okay, you said the magic words. I left it up
Yes.
to him.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
This is the matter of Shirley Miller versus Dr. Ted Davis. I am told that you are suing for $500, Ms. Miller, because you believe that he purchased inappropriate outfits for the church praise dance team, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, what is your role in the church?
Your Honor, this is our church, and both of my granddaughters wanted to be a part of Dr. Ted's dance troupe. They were very excited. I said yes to them being a part of his dance troupe. And the reason why I'm suing for the $500, Your Honor, is because I would go to the rehearsals. I would love what I was seeing. But prior to that, I gave them $500 to get them new outfits because I didn't want them to be looking like all in black or anything like that.
So you gave the $500 to the praise dance team.
Yes, I did.
So you want your money back?
I want my money back, Your Honor, only on the reason because I was expecting very angelic, if I can show
So you just were a contributor.
Yes, I was a...
Had nothing to say about what it looked like or did not look like,
No,
and didn't have any office in the church.
No, I'm not an officer of the church, but I did...
I got you. I'm going to go to Mr. Ted.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I'm here to defend our honor. I'm a dance director.
Right.
I've had a studio over 30 years.
Right.
One of the things that my praise dance teams do is we go to different churches and help them establish praise dance teams.
Right.
Now, after the first 4 rehearsals, Miss Miller comes to me and says she's donating $500 for the costumes. She wants them to look angelic. She kind of gives me an idea of what she envisions.
And
but
what was the idea she gave you when she said, look angelic?
Coming up,
So we came up...
But she didn't tell you in advance the kind of costumes. She said angelic and all white. Did she say all white?
Yes.
So then
ma'am.
why are they purple and red?
You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Shirley Miller, who is suing Dr. Ted Davis for breach of contract.
The idea was to just basically in all white. There was nothing to really describe what the costume should look like. But as a dance instructor and director, I have to make sure the music, the choreography, and the costuming are all in alignment.
Okay.
Understanding that these dancers aren't professionals, when we're into the second week, it took my brother about 4 days to make them. So now we're actually moving into the third week. I can't go back and rearrange choreography to fit the kind of costumes that she has. So we came up.
But she didn't tell you in advance the kind of costumes. She said angelic and all white. Did she say all white?
Yes.
So then why are they purple and red?
The reason they're purple and red is because it didn't fit with the choreography that we had at the time.
And if an 8-year-old to 10-year-olds who are usually not very tall, the average 8 and 10-year-old was wearing that costume, it's not too short.
It's way below the calf, Your Honor. There are no splits. There's nothing. They are actually covered.
Your Honor, may I show you a picture of what
You need to show me something because
Okay,
I don't see what your problem is.
Okay, here it is. And this is not, it didn't look good on the girls. My 2 granddaughters, they look like they were going to something totally different.
If you could show me this picture of an angel in an angelic costume, then you could have shown it easily to him and said, this is what I want you to make. Did you show him a picture like this?
No, because I left it up to
And
him.
Your Honor-
to
You
use
what?
his
What?
own.
Say that again?
I left it up to him since I trust him and since he has done this before.
Okay, you said the magic words. I left it up
Yes.
to him. And the other issue with you bringing this lawsuit, you don't have standing. And that means you don't have the right to bring a suit regarding what he did for the church when you're not a church officer.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
I wouldn't have, put something like that on for a praise dance team at church, but that's my opinion.
Yes.
But things are done differently, and when you leave things to the creative mind over there, there's no telling what you may get.
Okay, I
So
understand.
you have to give them some,
Artistic freedom.
No, when I give you too much artistic freedom, there's no telling what you're gonna get.
Like
So you have
this?
to rein them in a little bit and say, okay, use your best judgment, be artistic, but don't do X, Y, Z. That's what I always say to an artist. Now, when I'm having some things designed, it's like, okay, be creative, but you know me.
Yeah,
So
okay.
be creative within my frame of reference, the way I live my life, the way I like to dress. You watched me, you pay attention to me. Create, but don't take me out of my element. And you have to
understand.
be more specific with an artistic person. Am I right, Dr. Ted?
Absolutely. And furthermore, Your Honor, I have a video if you like as
I don't need to
evidence.
know why you want to belabor the point. I just said you were free to create.
Okay.
And that I have no that's her issue with that design, not mine, not the court. No, you got to learn when to hold
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
and know when to fold.
I'm with
Okay,
you.
now fold.
I'm folding.
All right, judgment for the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I don't think you would have your grandchildren in anything like that, praise dancing, but maybe you would.
I tend to disagree. I would. Artistically,
So, I
absolutely.
guess you would.
That's how you feel about it.
That's
They were
right.
appropriately dressed.
No, they weren't.
They were appropriately dressed.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.